Hi everyone! Today I wanted to show you this cute little birdhouse that we made at Stamp Camp a couple of weeks, well maybe almost 3 weeks ago or a month ago almost now. Time is flying. It's such a cute little birdhouse and so simple. I like to make things into little treat holders. I've done that with so many different little shapes, and when I saw this birdhouse die in the new catalog, I knew it was going to have to be made into a little treat holder. And it's just really simple, so I thought I would show you how I did it. I've actually seen other people did the same thing, so I think this is going to be a really popular item. It's really adorable. This is the Country Birdhouse Stamp and Die set. There's just a lot of things on here to make this birdhouse, and you can use it obviously for a flat birdhouse, but it was really easy to turn it into a three-dimensional birdhouse. This is the catalog page, and I just love, I took the color straight from what's on the catalog page here, and we've got Pool Party, Misty Moonlight, and Petal Pink, and Gray. Really fun colors. And here is the entire suite together. Now you'll notice there's two. There's Country Birdhouse and Country Flowers. They have the same feel to them. But I did use the flowers from the Country Flowers for my birdhouse just because it was simpler. This collection of leaves is actually one kind of all stuck together leaf, which I thought would be a little simpler than using the individual leaves. But you can get the same look with just the one die set. But it is a really good collection altogether, and they'll mix and match beautifully, so if you can get both sets, do so, but you can achieve this with just this one. Okay, and then the papers for this I didn't use on this project, but I want to point them out because they're really wonderful. This one is like weathered wood, and I think it's just really fun because you can use that actually to cut out the pieces of the birdhouse too, so then you can have a little wooden birdhouse like they did. Oh, they did not. That was just in my brain. It's like what I wanted to do, but I guess they didn't do that. Okay, but you can do that. So you can cut out these little, this birdhouse shape with the fun textured wood paper, and it's just really funny. It's just called Country Woods, and it's really lovely paper. I love it. And then this one is called Country Lace, and it's like eyelet patterned, and I love the whole suite. Super great collection. Do the whole thing and you will not be sad. Just remember that when you order, if you order the entire suite, you can use just this one code instead of entering all these separate ones, and you'll still get the 10% off on the bundles. And if you get to 150 right now, you would also then earn host rewards, so you can get some other things too in your host rewards. So this is the new catalog. And here it is again, and I have already die cut the pieces because when I do a stamp camp, I try to have everything cut because there's usually about 16 of us, and this makes things go faster. We make 5 projects. Now you'll notice I cut a hole out of one, and there is a die for that, and then I left the other one solid, so you need one of each of those, and then you can decide how many of the little pieces you want to add. I wanted to do the whole thing, and I did front and back. Just, I don't know, I like to have it look more finished, I guess. So I've got 2 of these little adorable little scallops, and then this little topper. Okay, here we go. So then when I needed to have the sides done, that is a separate piece. So this is gray granite, and I cut those out. And where are they? Here it is. Okay. And I did this so long ago that I forgot the sizes. So this was 3 inches wide by 5 1/4. So 3 by 5 1/4. And I've already scored this because I already did that for Stamp Camp, but I'm just going to show you what I did. I put it on my cutter and scoring paper trimmer and moved it to the 1/2 inch side and just scored and did the same thing here. 1/2 inch mark and scored. Okay, and then here we've got, I did 2 inches from either side. So then I did 2 inches and 2 inches. There. So I've got all my scores, and now we just need to do some snips. So we're going to cut along this line. Now I think it's kind of makes a nicer little folded up edge when you make a little triangle, little teeny tiny triangle, like so. Okay, and then I just used tear tape, and I love tear tape because you don't have to hold it to wait for it to dry. So I just went down the edges here. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to attach it to our pieces. I think it's easier to attach all your little bits before you put this together. So I'm going to grab some liquid glue and do that. And I want to point out a couple of things. If you notice on the birdhouse, there's this little rounded area here that's kind of going to line up perfectly. And you can see that little tip. That's going to line up perfectly with this scallop. So that's where that goes. And I just want to point that out because it's hard to see it. But you're just going to lay that right so that, and I'm going to see if I can do a close-up. So see how there's a little rounded bit with a little bump? That corresponds perfectly to that little bump out on the scallop, and I hope the close-up doesn't get fuzzy. All right, so I think I have too many of these. Okay. Too many of those. Okay, and then I'm going to put this one on top. And that butts up right next to it. And then the little tiny itty bitty strip of Pool Party is going to go right on top of that line. It's so skinny. If you've got your fine tip glue, you can do that. I can usually get a pretty small bead with this. Okay. And this kind of can go, oops, upside down. Right on that little bump out on that scallop too, or you can get it right on that line. Okay, there's my little birdhouse. He's adorable, right? And then at the bottom, I'm just going to add this little bit of Pool Party. Okay, now as far as the flowers and things, I'm going to do that once the house is put together. But just these little parts, these little tiny skinny ones, it's easier to get that glue on when it's nice and flat. Okay, so now we're going to do this. Let's make sure we've got everything folded. And then I like to start in the middle. And I don't remove the tape from the sides until I'm ready to go. So I'm going to turn this over and look for the middle and just kind of make sure you're lined up. And I'm lining it up with the lines, kind of making sure that I'm there, and then I'm lifting it so that it goes slightly over, and then I'm going to stick it down. That way you've got just the tiniest little lip here. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do these sides. And you'll notice the birdhouse is slightly angled, so we're going to slightly angle our sides. So we're going to go just right up the edge there, right on the side of that house. There we go. once you've got that first one down, the second one is easier. Oops. Okay. I'm kind of using my visual lines on the grid to kind of help me too. And now, whoops, I forgot to, I'm gonna, because these kind of get tucked underneath, it's not as easy as the second side. Some ways are easier, some ways not, but let's go ahead and get that on there. Okay, now I'm gonna go down the side and down the side. And then I like to take a bone folder and just kind of rub it down, and I feel like mine is missing. It's somewhere on my desk, so I'm going to grab something else. Just grab one of the little palette knives and I'm just going to kind of rub down on the folds just to make sure that that tear tape really sticks. Okay, so now I've got, this looks like a cradle. I've got my little birdhouse. Super cute. Now we're just going to decorate it. I've already pre-cut a bunch of these. So we need this white and a bunch of flowers. And the only thing you want to make sure you do here is that when you add the flower, don't go past the pool party, because when it sits down, you don't want the leaves to go past. So you're going to be careful to not go past. See where that's going to lie. I can do it on this one. Go. And some flowers. Let's see. Now we just need a little perch. You can use a little pearl or a little, any old thing right there would be super cute, a little sequin, especially some of those neutrals. I happen to have some of these cork rounds, but these are no longer available. Back when I did this at Stamp Camp, they were available, but they are now gone. They were part of the retirement list, but I bet, you know, maybe they'll show up someday again, or you can use a lot of little gems there. And then I happen to have some little pearls also left over, so I used those to embellish my flower centers. I have these teeny tiny ones for this little guy. And these are older versions of our pearls, and they are also discontinued. I hate to use things that are discontinued, but they just became discontinued. And like I said, they were not discontinued when I made this. But a lot of you have pearls left over, right? Okay, there it is. There's my little birdhouse. Now what we put inside at Stamp Camp is some little chocolates. And I have these little bags. They used to be sold by Stampin' Up. We used to sell a lot of variety of bags, and I always bought them because I make lots of treat holders. And this was long, like for pretzel rods is what I thought of it as. And I found little candies that fit in it, and they can just go straight in there with some ribbon. You can also decide that you want to give these to maybe your crafty friends, and you can put a glue inside there, or you can put little lip balms or hand lotions and things like that in there if you don't want to use a little bag. These little bags can be found on a lot of online sites, so you can find these little bags, or craft stores by the Melty Chocolates. So super cute little birdhouse. And again, you can adjust the size of the edges here if you'd like to. So you can make it bigger. Actually, this one is bigger than the one we made. I did adjust it slightly then too. So you can kind of decide how big, how wide you want your birdhouse. What matters is just the 2 inches, 1 inch, 2 inches. So you've got that, and then how wide you make it here is up to you. So you can play around with that easily. Anyway, I like to kind of make it depending upon what I'm going to put inside. So anyway, that is my little birdhouse. I hope that you like it. I think it's a really fun little die set. I'm sure I'm going to make lots of cards with it as well. If you like little birdhouses, I have made these a few times with Stampin' Up stamps from the past. Every so often we get a new little collection, and I just like to make little boxes. So you can click on my playlist for search for treat holders or party favors or favor boxes. I put all those little keywords in there if you love little favor boxes. And I have another version of a birdhouse as well from previous. And my blog also, if you search in the little search engine for favors or treat holders, you'll find all kinds of fun little treat holders if you are like me and love to make little treat holders, because I just think treat holders are super fun to give, put on someone's desk, a coworker's desk or teacher. It's just a sweet little tiny gift that doesn't cost a lot but is so cute, and they will appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.